Good morning, everybody. Let's take a look at our trade plan really quick. We're running a little late today. All right, so last night we said holding above 37 or below 37 would kind of determine our trade plan. We're obviously holding above it. Hitting our first target at 56, the second target is 72. So we do have to change this a little bit here. So we'll say 56, and then we'll raise these targets a little bit. So 77, where that gap is. And then above that gap into 88 will be the next breakout target there. You do have a P-shaped profile here, but the gap is being protected bullishly. So as long as that gap down is still protected, which it was on that last pullback, you have that slight bullish bias here. All right, looks like it is the same story on NASDAQ. We said holding above 670. We're looking for 827 and 945. We actually haven't hit that target yet, so we're going to keep that trade plan the same. But same story here. We're looking for that gap level, which is basically just the value low. So as long as they protect that level, it wants to go higher. And that gap down was mostly because of the possible government shutdown coming, I think at the end of this week or next week, if they do not pass a funding bill. And the betting markets have it at a pretty high rate that a shutdown will happen. At least a short-term one. A lot of buy pressure out of the gate here, way above VWAP. Keep an eye on that rotation back into 77. Got a pretty nice bounce off VWAP, but it was around the London Open. And we haven't tested VWAP since then. All right, hitting a little bit of resistance up here around the mid-60s to 70. You can see a little bit of a node building up there being protected by the sellers for now. This week is FOMC week, so we don't want to be pushing too far away from that weekly open, and that weekly open is 585, but there was a gap down, so it makes the weekly open a little bit weird. So anywhere from like 680 to 580 was kind of where that weekly level should be. And then same thing on ES. It's pretty low because of that gap. 904. If you look at the gap level, it's 930. So it's about a 30-point range where that magnet kind of should be. Keep an eye on this 70 to 77 area. A little bit of resistance up here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Patriot. Future Tachi Scott. Let me pin the trade plan for you guys. There you go. Morning, Igor Banana. Scott, Mr. B, Victoria, Greg, Roman, Larry, Julio, Morris, Mag, Leo, Constantine, Fernando, Darius. Good morning, Pod, Alex, Vanquish, Lubomir, Jose, Peter. XB, Adam, Boat, Timothy. Good morning, Blood. Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Trevor, Bella, Maverick, Joan, Orion. Good morning, Ryder. Good morning, Trades. Ali, Jeff, Faraj. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We did have a little bit of data come out this morning. It was the durable goods. Core durable goods 0.5 or 0.3, higher than expected. And durable goods 5.3 over 3.1, so much higher than expected on that one as well. That is it for the calendar today. Nothing else on the calendar. It's going to be a pretty slow week until Wednesday. Wednesday is the FOMC. And as of right now, it is pretty much guaranteed there will not be any change in rates. I believe Powell only has 2 meetings left, I think. I think he has this meeting and then one more. I can't remember if it was March or May when he gets replaced. But that's when you'll start seeing a lot more movement in the rate cycle. Buyers still in full control here, controlling the upper node. You have not lost a single 5-minute low. The UFC was weird because the prelims were really good. And then the main event was terrible, except for like the actual main event. Like the Gaethje fight was obviously amazing. But every fight before that was just boring. The prelims were literally better than the main event. And then Gaethje was talking about afterwards about how they just did this massive deal with Paramount. They're murdering us with ads, which we all knew was going to happen. So a bunch of ads during the fights. Well, not like actually during the fight, but you know what I mean. And then Gaethje talked about how afterwards his pay has not changed at all. And if it wasn't for him, that event would have been terrible. And he said he's going to receive the same exact pay he received last time. Which is kind of insane. Yeah, the ads, we can't really complain about the ads because they're saving us $80, right? Would you rather pay $80 or would you rather watch a couple of ads? I was talking about it with my friends about the betting market stuff, about how nobody's really saving $80 because if you think about every person who's watching like UFC, that $80 that they're saving from not buying the pay-per-view, it's going straight into the betting markets. I don't know if Paramount owns any of those betting markets. If they own like FanDuel or DraftKings or any, there's a million betting apps. I'm sure they own a couple of them in some way. But that's the real winner with this deal. The betting markets are definitely going to get a lot more money. It kills the illegal streaming, definitely, yeah, because it's like, why bother do the illegal streaming when it's like $8? POC shifted to the high here at 71. Right now, we're just rotating that node. There's no clear control of that node. Oh, is that true? Was there a fight on that card that got canceled because of betting? I told my friends, we all had the same feeling about the Derek Lewis fight. Derek Lewis seemed like he took some money on that fight. That was a very sketchy fight. Okay, node is obviously being protected by the buyers now. And here is that 77 target. So our first target, technically our second target, our first target got hit already. We did have to extend it. But here is our first major target of the day, which is that gap fill at 77, which we did not fill in last week. So 77 and then 88 and then 7,000, 713, somewhere around there. EMAs are still holding pretty strong. Watch those 5-minute lows, 5-minute lows, 5-minute highs. I've done a very good job with these trends recently. We've been very trendy on the 5-minute. The Paramount Plus thing is only in the US. Other countries do pay. I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy. Big bearish block trade there. 800 contracts on the POC. Purple, I've got a couple of order flow playlists. I have one that's literally called order flow. That's a good place to start. And then I also have some order flow videos on the Apex, becoming an Apex trader series as well. But yeah, there's literally a playlist called like order flow or how to trade order flow or something like that. Good morning, Michael. But yeah, going back to the fights, the Derek Lewis fight, if you guys have seen Derek Lewis fight before, that fight just seemed very shady. He either was like sick or injured or he took a bribe. That was not a regular fight. Especially how he just laid down at the end and literally just let the guy knock him out. I don't know. That fight was very shady. He's probably going to get investigated for that one. And that's the problem with the betting markets getting bigger and bigger and bigger is you just can't trust anything anymore. And that goes for like everything. That's not just fighting. It goes for like trading. I mean, everything. The more powerful the betting markets become, the less trustworthy everything else is. You guys saw the Israel thing with the guy who was betting on, I think it was Polymarket. There was a guy who was betting on like almost every single action that Israel did during the Iran and like just all the stuff that's happened recently. and he had basically a 100% success rate on his bets. And they actually found out that it was like some type of insider. I think it was like Israel government or something. It was some type of insider. But you're going to be seeing a lot of that over the next couple of years when the betting markets just keep exploding. Starting to launch off that upper node. Here's that 77 target. 88 is the next target. On NASDAQ, 827 was our target, which is damn near the high right here. And then we have 945. Yeah, you have all the Congress stuff that's been going on for many years, and like that's been very obvious. But now you're just starting to see it more in the actual betting markets instead of just the stock market. We're just in a very high risk society right now, which, I mean, you're looking at it right now. We're trading prop firms, we're trading the stock market, you have people sports betting, you have all kinds of like high risk stuff, right? It's why, like, my channel, I try to preach constantly for, like, protecting yourself and protecting your capital. I'm not one of those, like, very exciting, like, balls to the wall, just throw it out there and make as much money as you can. You gotta really protect yourself in markets like this. It's an extremely high-risk market. So it's not just one large order we look for clusters of large orders that kind of build up the nodes. If you watch my last two videos in the Becoming an Apex Trader series, the volume profile one and the order flow one, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But you're basically looking for clusters of nodes that are very obviously one-sided, either bullish or bearish, and then we just like to see how they're being protected and who's kind of controlling them, stuff like that. There's a lot of little systems and little trades that we can use off of those nodes. Yeah, it's basically the main topic of my order flow series are the clusters. No, there's no promo code for Addis right now. There is a 30-day trial that you can get if you sign up for the trial down below, and then send me an email. I'll send your information to their team, and they'll give you a 30-day trial. But there's no promo code. I think they might give you some type of promotion during the 30-day trial, or at the end of it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I take options positions very rarely. It used to be my main focus, but it's not my main focus anymore. Over the years, as I was like trading every single day, spending many hours doing this, I realized that I just needed to cut down as much as I possibly could as far as like what I have to do for my routine. Like, do I have to build a watch list? Do I have to go out and look at all the options and find the best option, find the best price for those options? all that kind of stuff, right? So over the years, I've just tried to cut down as much as I possibly could, but still trade on a daily basis and be very consistent. And for the most part, the best way to do that is just futures trading, right? Futures is very, very clean. Basically, all I'm doing is trading candlesticks. I don't have to have like a massive amount of secondary information. The biggest thing to watch for like what I'm doing is the economic calendar, right? So the only thing I have to do on like a daily basis is make sure I'm kind of keeping up with the economic calendar and then just do what I'm doing. Watch my setups play out, watch the volume profile, etc., etc. But if you tie into like individual stocks, if you tie into options, all that stuff, it just adds a bunch of layers of extra work, but the result is not amplified based on how much extra work you are doing. It's like a time in, value out equation. And futures trading, prop firm trading, whatever you want to call it, the time in, value out is the best ratio I could find in trading. Why don't I trade now? I do trade now. You just don't see my trades on screen. I trade on an iPad that is off my screen. Hey, Tamer, have a good day, man. We'll see you tomorrow. No, I am not a signal channel, so if you guys are sitting here waiting for me to spoon feed you trades, you might want to just press that X and find a different channel. I'm not going to spoon feed you guys here. There's a big reason why I don't show my trades on stream. EOC shifted to the 76 level. That's that 77 level from the gap fill, which is the gap from way back on the 16th, if you guys forgot about that one. Next level is 88. Good morning, Ram. Not sure if I saw you. How was the storm? Pretty bad? No, it's not too bad, actually. It was, it shifted quite a bit, so we didn't get nearly as much snow as we were supposed to. Originally, it was like 30 inches or something crazy. I think we got somewhere around 20. I think it was like 20 to 24, somewhere around there. Okay, still protecting this upper node here, which has become the POC. It's kind of in a little bit of a vertical distribution. There's a lot of sell pressure coming in, but it's not enough to really push it back down just yet. Good morning, Tom. Good morning, DMG. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, for all you guys that are new here, be sure to check out the Becoming an Apex Trader series. That gives you basically the quickest recap of like everything that I've taught over the last like 10 years. It gives you a rundown of how I use candlesticks, volume profile, order flow, indicators, you name it, right? How we get our levels, why we use VWAP. Like, if I mention it on stream, it is probably covered in that series. And if you go to my channel, it should be the very first series that pops up on the top, or it should be very close to the top, one of the first couple of series. Yeah, it's called Becoming an Apex Trader. It's not just about Apex. I just use that as a play on words because we were talking about Apex, the prop firm, but I was also using the word Apex the way that the word is in the dictionary, right? The actual definition of the word Apex. Yeah, be sure to check that out. It's a 5-part series with 5 Q&A videos as a little bonus if you need a little extra. I don't know what the total runtime is. It's probably like 6 hours or so, somewhere around there, if you don't include the Q&As. You mean like platform, Cole? I use Addis for my charts for order flow. No, you physically cannot create single prints until the C session opens. There's a little bit of exhaustion, but it's not like a very long tail. They're kind of just rotating the POC node right now. Good morning, Sam. Yeah, no problem, Faraj. Very P-shaped, same as the pre-market. Basically looking for a failure to rotate on this node here. Is it going to keep allowing it to rotate back and forth? Or is one side going to take over? The next level on NQ is 945, so it has a bit more room to run here. You could look at this POC level if that's too far away. That's around 891. It's a pretty strong POC node, kind of acting like a magnet. We don't want to run too aggressively today or tomorrow. Obviously, because of the FOMC is Wednesday, we want to be around that weekly open, typically going into that FOMC. So we're already about 300 points off that level. Still just rotating this node here. A lot of sell pressure below that 75 level, but it is being absorbed for now. A bit of a rollover here, but there's no obvious sweep that's getting trapped. So it's mostly just kind of distributing and rotating that node. And it's not obvious that that node is being lost yet. Just sitting on that POC, which is around 76. Just sitting right on top of that gap level from not last week, a couple weeks ago. And we do want to fill this in with a body of a candle, not a wick. So we don't want to see a strong sell-off before the close. Closing somewhere around here will be good for the gap. Won't be as good for the weekly open magnet. Starting to lose that upper node here. Starts to really fall off below like 70. So if it stays below 70, you can see this node right here. 71 to be exact, where that POC that node is. If you lose that node, it kind of falls off very rapidly. So far, they are protecting that node. Yeah, I don't know if gold hit our final target yet. Let me see. No, it hasn't. So it's only hitting our first zone of targets here. Our second zone of targets is 54.40 and 55.80. So no change in my levels here. And that'd be more of like a weekly, obviously. That's why the levels look so far away. So the weekly is a very clean extension. Bounced off the 382, 50%. Kind of had a fake out on that fake out level. He pulled back. And now we're into our targets here. That final target is around 6,000. If he can get there, that'd be kind of crazy. Silver would be the same exact story, just different levels. It's actually blown through our final target. Final target was 87. So we do have to grab a new level here. So normally you want to take it, it's kind of hard to do it now because it's already in the extension. But you normally want to find the impulse that kind of started the extension. So it's kind of this one here. And then he broke out of it. The best place to grab it would probably be like this. But nothing's perfect. It's all made up levels. There's no like actual value up here. So it's actually coming up on those targets right now. So like 113, 117, final target 133. And then all these VWAPs need to be adjusted. And typically you just pull the VWAP from a point of origin, like wherever it started breaking out. Like you could even pull one from like here as well. But that's too new. Yeah, silver's kind of crazy. It's kind of like a Bitcoin chart. I mean, we kept referring to this as like the 2018 Bitcoin chart. So like this was 2018 Bitcoin, and then you had basically 2020 to like 2022 when it exploded. It's almost an identical chart. Like if we go to Bitcoin here, and we go to log, actually it wouldn't look the same on log, I just have to zoom in. Yeah, here it is. So here's the 2018 Bitcoin where it had that kind of accumulation, sold, and then from that point on, you started that massive impulse up. And there you go. So silver is in this move right here after the accumulation, the 2020 to 2022. Okay, daily VWAP still holding here. It's still protecting this upper node. So we have a very obvious P-shaped profile here. So if it wants to extend that upper tail, it would be about a 20-point extension, which would line up with 7,000. Any push up from here will be hitting our 88 target. And then you had the 7,000 extension, possibly 13. Pretty weak on this push above the POC here. The sellers are kind of allowing it to happen. Or they've just completely run out of volume right here. They had so much pressure from 75 down to 70. But then they got stuck. All of my levels are always the same. It's just prior value. So the 940 level is the value high at January 15th. Basically the high of day. There's actually a level before that at 891, which is the POC. Our trade plan is finished on ES, so the extended levels are the 7,000 extension level, which is just a tail extension. And then we have a prior value at 13. Still pretty weak value up here. The sellers are kind of just letting it go up. Looks like you're getting a little bit more pressure around this 80 level, 86. We'll keep an eye on the 30-minute close here. Possible single prints going back down to that POC. Pretty aggressive trend. The 5-minute low is being protected and the 80 MA being held as well. Put in a strong node at 86. Looks like they are protecting this 30-minute close here. It closes in 2 minutes. They have to be below, I'd say, 82. If it's below 82, there won't be any single prints. If it's above it, you'll probably have a couple. Hitting that 24 EMA here, so far being protected. You've only lost one 5-minute low so far. Okay, looks like they have perfectly repaired this 30-minute candle, so we will not have single prints on that B session. Turning into a 30-minute sweep, losing that 24 as well. Here is that POC node. If they stay below that 70, like 5 area, starts getting pretty weak. POC still being protected by the buyers here. Good morning, Aquarius. Still holding this POC, which is basically from the P-shaped profile. P-shaped profile wants to protect that upper value because they have that slight bullish bias. Pretty much instantly protecting that POC node. They came down, retested that large node, didn't find any sell pressure below it, barely even tested the bottom of the node. No, I think it's good. I think AI is really good for retail traders. It helps them backtest. It helps them create strategies, create indicators with coding, all that stuff. Like, for example, my bot that I was making, the Athena bot in Discord, you can use it for news and stuff like that. If it gets to a good enough level, you can use it for like reading charts, like to a degree, obviously. You don't want to rely on it. It's just a tool. Like it's a bonus. You don't want to rely on it too heavily. But I think this goes for AI in every single pretty much line of work. I think if it's used properly, it can massively decrease the amount of time you have to put into something. It's funny because we were just talking about this earlier in the stream. I was talking about time in, value out. Which is basically just the equation for everything you do in life. Like how much time do I have to put into it? How much value is it giving me? And that value could be like happiness, money, whatever, right? And I think that AI, if used properly, massively decreases the amount of time you have to put into stuff to get that same value, if not more value. So your ratio gets much better. But then you have like the other side of AI where it's like AI slop and people hate it. They think it's taking their jobs and yada, yada, yada. But I think if it's used as an assistant, I think it's very, very good, especially for retail traders. If I ever see like a really big overnight move and I like need to find like what was causing it or what the news was, I'm typically using my AI, like the Athena one that I was making. I've taken back a little bit from using it for coding. I'm just not in a coding phase right now. I was coding quite a bit for a few months. Didn't really come up with anything that was better than the stuff that I already have. That's my problem with coding right now is every time I get into it and I start coding again, it just kind of turns out to be a waste of time because I can't really come up with anything that is as consistent or better than what I already built. The Momo, the bots, the OTS, whatever it may be. So it just turns out I'm just spending hours just kind of rebuilding the same exact thing that I've already spent hundreds of hours on, if not thousands of hours. It's funny you say DeepSeek. I haven't heard that word in a long time. I feel like DeepSeek like came about and everyone was so scared that it was going to take over the AI world, and then it just disappeared and you never heard about it again. Yeah, you have to have basic coding knowledge. You can't just go in blind. You have to still have a basic understanding of how to read code. So you can see like what it's making for you. You can fix the mistakes that it does. If you have zero coding knowledge, it's still not at the level that it can like 100% code for you. It probably will be there in a few years. Yeah, I still mostly use ChatGPT and Grok. Grok is actually pretty good. The problem with Grok is so many people are using it on Twitter that it's actually it's delayed. It's like if you don't have the paid version, it will basically say like, "Oh, it's too active right now. You got to wait a little bit." And then I used Gemini for a little bit. Gemini started really annoying me because like on the most basic task, it would get confused. By the way, keep an eye on VWAP here. VWAP at 75. On the most basic task, it would get confused, and then it would start saying things like, "Oh, I can't do that," or "Oh, I can't look that up," or I can't talk about that." And it's like, I'm not asking you to build a bomb or something. Like, I'm not asking you anything crazy. This is like basic information. And it's like, "Oh, I can't do that." And it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to use a different AI then. Very weird. It seems like there's a lot of restrictions on Gemini that make it like confuses itself. It thinks you're trying to do something like illegal or shady when it's like, what's 2 plus 2? Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, so far right now, I think Chat is still the best. And then Grok is probably very close to second, or Grok is better in some ways. They're kind of like interchangeably the best. I think Chat is getting better, but when it switched off all those really powerful 4.0 programs, it had like all those different 4 versions, and then it switched to 5. It was pretty bad in the beginning. And that's kind of when I stopped working on the Athena bot, because it was really annoying that I did all that work on the 4 programs, then it switched to 5, and it kind of messed it up a little bit. But it seems like the 5 programs are getting better now that people are using them more. Still to this day, like if you're looking up like news or like very up-to-date information, Grok seems like it's the best. Because Grok can pull from all those Twitter posts and like all those different companies making articles or news or journalists or whatever, posting all the data on Twitter. It seems like Grok is the best at up-to-date information. Chat answers are stupid long, yeah. Or super long, yeah. Yeah, that's why when I made the Athena bot on ChatGPT, one of the first things I did in its database is I made it so when it answers questions, it does it in a very logical way. It doesn't go on and on and on and on. and just rambles. I try to get like, give me the answer as quickly as you can, but make sure that it's actually the answer. Like, make sure you have verified it with different sources, but don't ramble on, right? And it seems like it does a much better job. Yeah, if you guys didn't know that, if you guys have the paid version of chat, you can make your own like custom chat. And you can give it like a database. And you can start building its onboard memory, basically. It takes a lot of time. I've put like over 100 hours into mine, probably like 200 hours at this point. But it does make it better than the standard. Yeah, Claude is the best for coding by far, yeah. If you use what is it called? Visual Studio Code or whatever it's called, and you tie that into, they have like a built-in chat program that you can use Claude, and you can tie that into Copilot. That's like the the coding terminal that I would use. Visual Studio, tied into Claude, tied into Copilot. But yeah, long story short, going back to what I was saying, if used correctly, it should massively decrease the amount of time you have to put into something. And it goes for almost every single industry, every single career. If used properly, it should massively decrease the time and give you the same value, if not more value. It doesn't create labor, it multiplies labor, right? Like it's a efficiency improvement. It does create labor in the sense of like the videos or the artwork and stuff like that that people are using it for. That's kind of a world where it is actually doing the labor. It's not just amplifying it. My biggest complaint with the AI world right now, the fact that AI has blown up, is the constant, like, sheep-like, just brain-dead comments that you get on everything. It could be, like, the most normal post you have ever seen in your life, and the comments will be like, this is AI, is this AI, this is AI. And it's like, holy shit, use your brain for 2 seconds, and you could figure out if this is AI or not. That's the biggest downside to the AI right now. People just can't believe anything nowadays, which is like a good and a bad thing. It like makes people look into it a bit more. A lot of buyers at 83 to 84 building a bit of a cluster here. It's kind of being absorbed. I haven't tried Perplexity. The only ones I've tried are like the big ones. Gemini, Chat, obviously, Grok. I've used Claude, but Claude's like for coding. I think that's it. Just those. You've been getting some really good like bull flag into VWAP bounces today, but they've only been on the daily VWAP because the session VWAP is so far away. Get a really good VWAP bounce here, really good VWAP bounce here. What day did I say I was going to make a recap on last week? I completely forgot. There was a really good day here that had some really good setups. Was it Thursday? I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday. I think it might have been Thursday. I'll have to go back and check. A lot of buyers building up this little node here. They're not finding a whole lot on the breakout, though. The break away from the node. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. I just can't remember. Once the weekend comes around, my brain just like wipes the entire week of trading and we just start over. I try not to think about it too much on the weekends. That's why I keep forgetting to do the Momo Monday. I was supposed to do Momo Monday today. When Monday starts, I'm like a new person again. I just don't think about all the stuff from last week. I just completely forget about it. Yeah, I promise I'm trying to do Momo Mondays. I just completely forget. And then I get like an hour into stream and I'm like, oh, I was supposed to be doing Momo Monday. And then rinse and repeat the next week. I need to go back and look at the 1 minute price action. That's what I remember the most usually. Like if I see what the 1 minute looked like on Thursday or Friday, I'll know which day I was referring to. The 30-minute price action, for the most part, on most days, they kind of all look the same. They have like 3 different patterns they do. But the 1 minute price action is much more unique. Just rotating around this POC node for now. POC node is getting pretty big. It's going from like 73 up to 86. It's almost like two nodes kind of back to back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, because this is the last week of the month for that raffle. Let me grab something here really quick. So we're going back to how we used to do our raffles basically every single month last year until we did the Apex series, which we did the really big raffle for the laptop and the other stuff. But before the Apex series, we did a standard raffle every month. So anytime you guys use code BREW for Apex, just hold on to those receipts. And I'll ask you during the last week of the month, which is now, to go ahead and start sending those forward. So let me go ahead and give you my email. Should be admin@oasistrading.io. Looks good. There you go. So just put all those into one email if you can, with any receipts you guys bought using code BREW. Just make sure I can see the account size and the invoice number. And you guys are good to go. You get one ticket per 50K, meaning if it's 100K, you get 2 tickets, 250K, 5 tickets, so on and so forth. Then I just pull a couple of winners. We get 1 month Discord, 3 month Discord, couple of cash winners as well. The cash winners go through PayPal, so make sure you guys have a PayPal if you want to win that cash prize. If not, then obviously we have the other prizes as well. Yeah, that's the standard raffle that we do pretty much every single month. So if you guys used our code for the last, what did we have, a 90% sale? We had an 80% sale, I believe, in January. So any receipts you guys have from January, just go ahead and send them forward. And if you use the code for the rest of the week, just make sure you have them sent before Saturday. I typically pull the winners on Saturday or Sunday. What's the last day of the month? Let me see here. Last day of the month is Saturday, so I will be pulling it on Sunday. Yeah, we'll be doing the same thing for basically every single month this year, so we'll do the same thing in February as well. Just a way for me to give you guys, or give back to you guys that are supporting the channel using the code. In those same emails, if you guys have not received access to the Momo indicator, the OTS indicator, the bots, I give you guys 60 days access when you use that code. So just be sure to send me your TradingView username in that email and let me know, hey, I haven't received access. Can I get a trial? Something like that, right? Just put that at like the top of the email that you also need access to the indicators for 60 days. And I'll get you guys added. We do have a poor high, and we still have a very weak upper tail, so if they do want to continue that tail extension, still lines up with around 7,000. As long as the POC node keeps being protected, that's a very standard P-shape profile, so it wants to extend that upper tail. NQ stronger, yeah. NQ's not doing too bad. It's got a good extension going. It also dipped really hard on that gap, and then it just instantly recovered it. It's a little bit worrying that we're kind of pushing so far away from that weekly open. Typically, when you have the FOMC on Wednesday, you want to be pretty close to that weekly open. It's hard to trust any major breaks on Monday or Tuesday. Now, this one is it's a meeting that doesn't have a change. There's no rate change. So it might be a little bit weaker of a magnet. Starting to get that standard Monday and Tuesday before the FOMC volume. The volume's getting pretty low already. It was already pretty low on the open. Dropped down to 88, dropped down to 69, and now we're dropped down to 30, which is probably around 60 because it's only halfway done. So we're already at 50% volume from the open. Going into 11:30, not too good. If it keeps going down, keep an eye on that rotation. Possibly back down to 73. 73 would be a little bit low, though, because you would be breaking this 30-minute low. That would finish the rotation of the cash profile. Keep an eye on VWAP here. It has been bouncing off VWAP pretty much every single time I tested it today. We are getting a pretty strong reaction off of VWAP here. It's also basically finishing their rotation on that cash value low. You have not traded below that daily VWAP pretty much the entire time today. Pretty common, just P-shaped profile today. They're doing a really good job protecting the POC node, protecting the value low. And as long as they do that, the objective is always the same. They want to extend that upper tail. They've already extended it once a little bit. And then they kind of built up a node where they extended it. Now they're trying to push again. 945 will be the next extension target on NQ. Be about 7,000 on ES. You're topping out on the 88 level, damn near to the exact tick. So far, probably not going to be the actual top. You do have a poor high to repair here. But all right, guys, we're coming into the end of the stream. We have about 81 likes. If you guys can get that to 100, we'll do a Apex account giveaway. One last reminder before I go. I'm going to remind you guys, hopefully every day, unless I forget, this week. Make sure to send your receipts if you guys bought any Apex accounts using code BREW in January. Just be sure to send those receipts over to me. Try to put them all in one email if possible. If you do multiple emails, it's kind of hard to track. Just make sure I can see the account size and the invoice number. And you get one raffle ticket per 50K, so 100K is 2, so on and so forth. We're going to pull Discord access and cash prizes. Cash prizes are through PayPal. I should probably put that on the little raffle thing here. Yeah, we're going to do those pretty much every single month this year, unless we have like some other type of giveaway or raffle going on. Same way we did them the last couple of years. Just my way of giving back to you guys for supporting the channel using the code. I appreciate all the support. Okay, you guys did get above 100. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get that ready. We're going to do it the same way we always do, 1 through 50. Just pick one number between 1 through 50. If you tie, we'll do a tiebreaker. Only put in one number. If you put in multiple, I'm just going to delete your messages. If you guys are heading out and not participating in the giveaway, I appreciate you being here. Hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe if you guys enjoy the content. I will be streaming tomorrow, same time as always. If you guys are new to my content, I do stream Monday through Friday, basically every single trading day. We typically start stream around like 9:30 in the morning, 9:20, somewhere around there. And we go until about this time, 11:30 Eastern. If you have not seen any of my videos before, be sure to check out my playlist. I've got everything divided up into different playlists, volume profile, order flow. We just made a brand new one called Becoming an Apex Trader, which is basically the crash course of my entire channel. So If you guys are brand new, be sure to watch that one probably first. I'd watch that one before anything else. The Becoming an Apex Trader series. It's a 5-part series that has 5 additional videos that are Q&A videos. Just basically a little supplement on top of the video. I think the 5 normal videos combined is somewhere around 5 to 6 hours, I believe, 5 to 7. It's not too long. And that'll basically get you up to speed with pretty much everything that I talk about on the live stream. So if you guys are ever watching my live stream and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Just watch that series and you'll be caught up for the most part. Obviously, you can't learn everything in just 5 little videos. But you'll understand enough to where you can follow along. All right, I'll give you guys another minute or so. Keep an eye on this upper tail extension here. Trying to push into 7,000. If you guys have not, go ahead and put in a number 1 through 50. Just pick one number. This is going to be for an Apex account. You basically just sign up for an account like you normally would, and then put this code that I'm going to give you into the promo code section. It will make it free for 30 days. It will then go to charge you either full price or half price. I can't remember. So if you don't pass it in 30 days, just go back to the brew code. Make sure you guys press that live button. Make sure you guys are live. If you guys have a big delay and you win and you're not responding, you're just going to lose. I'm going to give it to somebody else. So make sure your stream is live. Press that live button. You shouldn't have more than like a 6 to 10 second delay. If you have a really good internet connection, it's typically like 3-second delay. All right, I'm going to pull it. The last name that I see is Rob. Oh, I just saw Sergio. So Sergio is the last name that I'm going to use for this first pull. Number is 22. We do have a 22. I see Alex. I see Tachi. If you guys did win, just go ahead and type that you won. I'll double check your number. I see Alex. I see Tachi. Well, don't get too excited yet, Tachi. Somebody else won. We got to do a tiebreaker. Let me keep going. Did I miss anybody? Oswald, you said you got 22. Let me double check you here. Yes, I do see your 22. Okay, so there's 3 of you guys. Last chance, is there anybody else? That is all that I see. Alex, Oswald, and Tachi. Let me get your guys' giveaway ready for the tiebreaker. Is there anybody else? I'll give you guys like 10 more seconds if I missed you. For you 3, go ahead and start picking your number 1 through 10. Just pick a number 1 through 10. I'll keep rolling it until one of you guys wins. So Tachi has 7. Oswald has 3. And Alex has 2. Okay. All right, good luck, guys. Was it 7, 3, and 2? Oh, there's 2. So that was Alex. Congrats, Alex. Sorry, Tachi. Sorry, Oswald. We will be doing more giveaways the rest of the week as long as we get to 100 likes. Alex, let me get you my giveaway email here. Go ahead and send me an email Alex, just let me know that you won and your YouTube name, and then I'll send you a random number to type in chat. If you guys are heading out, I appreciate you being here. I will be streaming the rest of the day in Discord. If you guys are not in Discord, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time as always. If you guys are trading for the rest of the day, just keep an eye on this P-shaped profile. It's basically a textbook P-shaped profile. They are protecting the POC, they're protecting the value low, and they're slowly trying to extend that upper tail. That upper tail extension lines up with around 7,000, maybe a little bit higher, maybe like 70-10. The extended targets on ES are exactly what I just said. On NASDAQ are 945 for NASDAQ, which is pretty close. The next level above that would be basically 26,000 even. Nice whole number. Let me see if you emailed me. Let me double check here. Yeah, guys, make sure to send your raffle entries to that other email, not the giveaway email. The admin at oasistrading.io. That's the one we're going to use for the raffles. Which I'll just leave that on the screen for now while I'm waiting for your email. Gotcha, Alex. I'm going to send you a random number. Just confirm that number in chat. I need to put the email on this next time. I'll have that ready for tomorrow. Just a reminder which email you guys need to send it to. Gotcha, Alex. Okay, Alex, just be on the lookout for a promo code. I'm going to send you a code, and then just go sign up for any account on Apex, any size, trade of 8, rhythmic, whatever, and then just put that promo code in, and it should give it to you for free for 30 days. But all right, guys, I appreciate you being here. I'll see you guys in Discord. If you're not there, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody.